Peace family, it's Kyle King here again on course 3 in classroom to boardroom, and today we're going to be talking about mission, plan, success. Now, I was not in the military, and at one point I wanted to be able to go into the Air Force and jump out of planes, pull the parachutes, and I had this idea of like I would just jump on buildings and then just start kind of like just use the Uzi. But I feel like I watched a little bit too many movies. So today we're gonna really talk about mission, plan, success in your life and why it's so important. And the overall objective is to get you out of the mind frame of failure, get you out of the mind frame of challenges, get you out of the mind frame of opposition, of bad things, and really use all of those bad things to build your plan to being successful. Now, like I said, I wasn't in the military, but my family was. And one thing that I did learn as I was talking to my uncle one time is like, I would ask him, how long does it take to really be able to plan a successful mission? And he came back and said, Kyle, it really just depends. It depends on how much, time you have to get out there or how much time to prep and all these different things. He said, more critical missions take a lot more planning, but sometimes you just gotta go. You're ordered to just go, and you gotta kind of plan on the way. And I think that it's very important to understand in terms of military planning, because it's the same thing in life. Some things that have higher priority take a little bit more planning. But I believe as we're tackling this journey of life, as we're tackling this journey of success, we have to realize that sometimes you're just going to have to jump. You're just going to have to jump. And how do we jump? So I believe that aspirations apprehend. I was gonna draw a diagram, but it's okay. I believe that aspirations apprehend people. Aspirations apprehend people. This is my AAP model. And why I believe that? I believe that you have the ability, you have the bandwidth, you have the gift, you have, I'm sure, the skill and the knowledge, I'm sure, to be an amazing engineer, to be an amazing doctor, to be an amazing probably entrepreneur or dentist or all of these different things. But my question is, what if you were called to be something completely different? What if you were called to be, what if you were an engineer and you were called to be a doctor? What if you were a doctor and called to be something in technology? What if you were called in technology and you were called to be something in education? I truly believe that this mindset that we have learned of finding that profession and figuring out what we want to be with our life and all these different things has hurt us from truly tapping in, truly empowering, truly developing, cultivating our true gifts. There's a difference between a goal, there's a difference between a job and our gifts and our skills and what we were born to do. I do believe that our calling is the very thing that's going to be the catalyst to our very success. Our calling is going to be the very thing to the catalyst to our success. And as I was looking down, one thing that I want to note is I was having a conversation with a student of mine the other day, and she said, Mr. King, I was like, what do you want to be? And she said, I want to be a chemical engineer. So I started laughing. I was like, wow, that's great. Like, that's actually a pretty dope job. Like, once she's 12 years old saying that she wanted to be a chemical engineer. And I know when I was 12, all I pretty much said is I either wanted to be a basketball player, a football player, the president, and an astronaut. Like, kind of the mainstream jobs at the time. So when she said I wanted to be a chemical engineer, I felt like she was on the right track, but she just needed a little bit of a shifting in her mindset. So chemical engineers asked one of my colleagues to look up the annual salary, and I believe that it was $109,000. And what I asked her, I said, why do you want to do it? Like, what is the reason why you want to do it? And she said, quote, I want to make a lot of money, let's put money, like everybody, and she wants to support her family in this exact order, support her family, i.e. her mother, And the last thing was that she loved chemicals. She loved like chemicals and experiments and like bringing things together and all these different things in this order. So I was like, okay, money, support, all these different things. So I was like, all right, what is the lifestyle that you want to live? Like, do you want to live in a house? Do you want to live in a condo? She was like, Mr. King, I want to live a normal life. I was like, your normal and my normal is could be completely different, because that's a relative term depending on the person. My normal could be, I want a multi-million-dollar house, and that may be normal. But her normal may be, she just wants to live in a 2-bedroom apartment. So I really asked her to define her life, because I want you to get into the mindset of defining everything that you say. What is the definition of your success? Not the definition that Webster has created, not the definition that your parents have created, not the definition that your school may have. Just because you have a degree doesn't make you successful. Just because you have a child doesn't make you successful. Just because you have $1 million doesn't make you successful. Because I know a lot of people that have children, that have a lot of money, that have great cars, that have businesses, that are still unhappy within themselves. So success is a you thing, not a mainstream thing. So I want you to get into the mindset of that. So she defined her life. She said, Mr. King, I want to live in a condo. I said, where do you want the condo to be? She said, LA. And I was like, whoa, LA, 109,000? All right, so we're going to get there though. So I was like, okay, what kind of car do you want to drive? She said explicitly, I want a GLE 450 Mercedes. A GLE 450 Mercedes. I truly believe, I don't remember the exact cost, but I do think it was over $80,000. And with cost of living, with everything increasing and all that as a part of just society and economics as a whole, that would go up, and the cost of living in LA would go up. She said, and I was like, okay, what about your mom? She said she wants to get her a GLE 450 as well, because that's her favorite car for mom. So that's another 80 grand. And I was like, okay, do you want to finance? She said, I want to buy it out cash. So if we're thinking of $160,000 in cash, because she was saying that she wanted to be a chemical engineer, but I don't think that she has taken the necessary math courses, because 160 is already have us at a negative 51,000 if and when she wants to buy it in cash. So a negative $51,000, and then we haven't even talked about the condo, and I guess she's gonna live somewhere with no furniture. She's not gonna have lights on, energy, or anything. And I believe that this is a lot of people. This is a lot of people. We have gotten into the mindset and have been brainwashed on becoming a profession, becoming something, becoming a profession, and never finding this thing that we call purpose. We have become professions, we have become employees, we have become all of these different things because of job titles, because of industry, because of where the job market is, and we've never found our purpose. So now we're living based upon our responsibilities, not being able to live a lifestyle. Then when you want to live your lifestyle, you have to go get credit or get second and third jobs. You're using credit cards to fund your lifestyle or supplement your lifestyle. You're getting into debt because you want to live this lifestyle, but your profession doesn't pay for that. And then you're in this rat race of life and not being able to execute. Not being able to execute. And remember when we talked about mission plan success? That's not a mission plan, and that's not success. Does it matter? It doesn't matter, people. If you want to be a janitor or if you want to be a doctor, as long as you're happy. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million in your bank account or $1,000 in your bank account if you're happy. One thing that I want you to realize is that this is happiness and this is you. The mission plan that you have to create in your life is, what do I have to do to get from this point to this point? And how I look at it is that one time when I went hiking, first hiking trip, first hiking experience with a former coworker of mine, this was me. All I saw is this big, huge mountain. This is a mountain. That's a mountain over there. And this was my goal. My eye was set on the prize, the goal at the beginning of the hiking trip. We were in the parking lot right here, and I knew it was gonna take us A long time to be able to get up there. We had to go through the forest. We had to hike. It was a hike in Wyoming, so we had to go through all of these different things to be able to get us to the top of that mountain. Through hiking up the mountain, we saw a mountain lion, my first mountain lion, because I'm a city boy, so I wasn't used to seeing things like that. I tripped and fell, scraped my whole arm open, and all these different things occurred on my journey to this destination. All of these different things. But I remember at the beginning, I was so excited to just get up there. I was so excited to just get up there. But through seeing a mountain lion and being scared for my life, through falling, through being wet because I fell in a wet snow and didn't have enough clothes, through my backpack getting heavy because I had rocks in the backpack and all these different things, what I came to realize is that once I got to this point, I wanted to stop. I was tired, I was hungry, and I was hurting. I was tired, I was hungry, and I was hurting. But my thing is, you are not hurting enough. You are not hungry. You're not hungry enough, and you can never be tired enough to exclude or execute or distinguish or destroy your destiny to come back down to your reality. So what I realize is that I will eat when I get back. I'll sleep when I get back. I'll hurt when I get back. And we did whatever was necessary to get to the top of that mountain. When I first got to the top of the mountain, I took a deep breath, I sighed, and then I opened my eyes, and it was the most beautiful view that I've ever seen in my life. And one thing that I want you to be able to realize is that the hardest climbs will lead you to the most beautiful views. And as you stay on your mission, regardless if that mission took you a long time or that plan to reach that mission or to execute on that mission took you a long time, regardless if it was like you just jumping, the destination never changes, but sometimes our route, sometimes our plan looks like this. But regardless, you have to stay motivated, you have to stay inspired, and you have to get to the point where you are feeding your body, feeding your mind, feeding your spirit with the right things to be able to help you as you climb through that journey towards your success. Not society's view of success, not your parents, not your teachers, not your professors, but your view of success. And that's what the mission plan looks like. Regardless of what I run into, regardless of the stop signs, regardless of the accidents, regardless of the mistakes, I'm still going to look at everything as an opportunity, be optimistic, and make those mistakes into monuments of success. And how you make things into monuments of success is by stop filling yourself with a bunch of chips and get to the point where you are feeding yourself carrots. And I know this seems kind of weird, but what I mean by this is, have you ever gotten to the point if you ate this big bag filled, like this is a really big bowl of chips? This is chips, if you didn't know. Like you could probably eat a huge bowl of chips. And I mean your most favorite chips. Maybe Lay's, maybe Doritos, Cheetos, whatever chips you like. Think of those Tostitos chips, no salsa. I don't even need salsa. I could probably go through a whole bag. I mean the family size bag of just eating the chips the whole day. But I want you to look at it. Think about the same size bowl, and this was supposed to be the same size bowl of carrots. Just think of that being carrots. Do you think that you could eat the same size bowl of carrots or vegetables or fruit as you can eat chips? No, you cannot. And the reason why is because carrots have nutrients. And chips, those nasty chips, those just the store-bought, gas station-bought chips, they don't. Do not. And when you are not getting the nutrients that you need, you're able to eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and it's never going to fill you up. It's never going to get you to the place of success. It's never going to get you to the place of purpose. It's never going to get you to the place of profit. But when you are filling yourself with the right things, filling yourself with the right people, hanging out in the right environments, connecting with the right circles, making the right opportunities, creating the right opportunities, all of this nutrients may not get eaten, but you're going to fill yourself up with quality versus being stopped by quantity. It's kind of like when you go to McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or all of these different places, fast food, and you eat a meal that you just spent $7, $8, $9 on, and then 2 hours later you're hungry again. But you woke up another morning, you ate fruit, you ate some oatmeal, a nice balanced breakfast, and you're not hungry until 5 p.m. That is because you got the nutrition, you got the nutrients that you needed. And in life, if you are surrounding yourself with the right people, you're going to get the necessary things that you need to be successful, the necessary things that you need to get to that mission plan, so that regardless of the hard climb, you're getting to that beautiful view. And one of the things that I teach, and one of the things that you need to understand, is everything that we do in life echoes into eternity. What we do in life echoes into eternity. We are not a product of our circumstance. We are not a product of our environments or our situations or our situationships. We are products of the decisions and the choices that we make within our lives. And I think that those two words are synonymous, but sometimes they can't be. Once you make a decision, that you made a decision to be successful, you made a decision to be a faithful husband or a faithful wife, you made a decision to be a great teacher, a great principal, you made a decision to get elected as that politician and stick through and protect and serve your people the right way. If you're making a decision, all of the choices now that follow after that decision that you made are simple, because I made a decision. So all of the things, all of the actions, all of the steps that I should be taking should be easy. But my question is, how do you know how to make those decisions? It's two things, people. It's either risk or benefits. Is this going to help me? Or is this going to hurt me? And I think a lot of times, if we are more mindful and intentional about risk and benefits, and not just acting out of emotion, acting out of true logic and preparation, then I believe that we'll make equitable decisions that will lead to better economic lives, financial lives, relationships, love lives, businesses, all these different things. We have to be mindful of the decisions and the choices that we make, because it's all based upon what's going to benefit us, what's going to serve us as an investment, and how is this going to potentially help us moving forward as we're trying to tackle that big dream. And how do we do this? How do we operate at our optimum or optimized level of performance? High level of performance. The first step, because I believe that there's 7 steps that I use, because I went back the other day and I really wrote down, like, Kyle, how do you continue to execute? How do you continue to create companies? How do you continue to just be successful in your lane, in your purpose, in your passion? And I feel like the first step is that I develop objectives. I develop objectives. The second step is that I develop tasks. So tasks to meet those objectives, I believe. To meet objectives, to meet. I look at the resources needed and write this down, because I want you to do this as homework in your life, in this life lesson. I create a timeline. I finalize a plan, or no, I determine, measurables. And then I create a timeline, or really finalize the plan based upon what I'm seeing. And then step 7 is execute. And the reason why I put it in this order is because first you have to get to the point where you have to be objective minded. You have to have a mindset of objectiveness, in a sense, where you have to put the end first, and then all of the steps after that have to follow. So create an objective. What do I want in this season? What do I want this year? What do I want in this relationship? What do I want in my life? And then what are the tasks that I have to do? What are the action steps? What are the choices, the decisions that now have to meet? What am I going to have to do to now meet that objective? Also, what are the resources that I need to do these tasks so that I can then meet the objective? What do I need? Do I need people? Do I need money? What are all the things? And I want you to write down all of the resources that you can potentially need. Then I want you to put a timeline on it. This is put a deadline on it, put a stamp on it, put a ring on it. Whatever you need to use to remember, I need you to put create a timeline and put a stamp on it, and be sure that you're getting it done. And then I want you to measure if you're being successful. How am I measuring? What is my tracking or assessment method to ensure that I'm high performing, high level of performance? Because at the end of the day, if you've done it like this, the only person that you can blame is you, because you understand the resources. You created the timeline based upon the resources and the task, and then you just get to the point where you finalize the plan, and I call it the triple check model. Triple check. You check it 3 times, or you let 3 people check it for you, and then it's time to go, baby. It's time to execute. It's just do it. You got to be like Nike. You just got to do it. And once you do it, once you've created the process, you have to then trust the process, and then get to the point where you never stop learning. Never stop learning. Knowledge is endless, information is endless, and knowledge is never going to be power. Applied knowledge, applied information, applied education, practical strategies, methodologies, the how-to, the execution, that's power. I appreciate you listening and watching and learning, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next lesson.